What's going on, guys? So this week's episode of The Walking Dead was okay, but that was to be expected since we had the crazy episode last week. A lot of shows do this when they have an epic episode. The following episode is usually lighthearted, so it brings you back from the darkness. We got introduced to the kingdom, and we knew this was coming from last season when Carol and Morgan were rescued by the horseback warriors. You know, we saw that at the end of season 6. That is very from the comics, from the kingdom, so we knew that we were going to see this in season 7, and we also got introduced to King Ezekiel. Not sure about you guys, but when Morgan introduced the tiger, he was like, oh yeah, he has a tiger. I thought that was kind of stupid. Like, I think they were trying to be funny at that moment, and I kind of hated it when I saw it, but after the end of the episode, I was like, you know what, it kind of fits, because Carol feels like the whole thing is a joke, the whole King Ezekiel persona, the whole kingdom, like it's just not real for her, and it's just fake bullshit, and, you know, and she thought it was just a joke, and I thought it was funny that the way they did that, so it fit very well with the whole episode, like, how do you say, freaking feel, or, you know, whatever, the feels. But I will say that I love King Ezekiel. Like, I love that character persona. Now, if you guys don't know, I haven't read this far in the comics. I, like, have it there. Like, I have the second compendium, and I'm like, should I read it? Should I read it? What do I do? And, I just don't know. And I just noticed the freaking lights aren't on. And, let me change that. Sorry, but I totally noticed the light was changing around me. It was really weird. Sorry. Fail. Anyways, like I was saying, I haven't read it this far into the comics, so I haven't really got to see King Ezekiel in the comic book yet, and every day I'm just like, should I read it? Should I read it? But then I know it's going to ruin the show for me, and it's going to take away that suspense, and I love that suspense. So, yes, so I don't know too much about King Ezekiel. A lot of people are saying that it is very similar to that, and that's how the kingdom is, and I think that's freaking awesome, but I love the character. The way they're portraying it on this show is just awesome. I'm a big fan of drama and reality when it comes to storytelling, but I don't think I love anything more than personas, and just to have King Ezekiel be a person that is carrying this persona of King is fucking awesome, and that's what I love about comics and stuff like that, and that's why I'm so into, like, universes like the Batman universe, because these characters were somebody before they took on this persona and became that persona. You know, the Joker was somebody before he became the Joker. The Riddler was somebody before he became the Riddler. And, like, they are those personas now. And to see King Ezekiel, a character like that in The Walking Dead, a show that is, of course, it's based in reality, although it's not reality. And then to have a character like that that has this persona inside that show it's got me really excited for what's going to happen in Season 7. We'll talk more about King Zeke in a little bit, but not much really else happened in this episode, guys. We saw that the kingdom has been gathering hogs and pigs and all that stuff and feeding them walkers because those freaking pigs are going to go to Negan, so of course they don't want those pigs to be all fresh and so clean. They want them to be all infected and shit, so when they eat them, hopefully, you know, Negan's people get sick or shit, or they just have that happy-go-lucky feeling like, yeah, bitches, y'all are eating dirty pigs. We also saw that Morgan is becoming a bigger part of the kingdom, or he is somebody that, you know, King Zeke really likes, so he wants to keep him around. He has him training his, you know, friend's son that died. So, you know, he wants Morgan to be a part of this group. And Morgan thinks, like, oh, do you want me to be a part of your group because I could kill one of these freaking Negan guys if I have to? And he's like, no, quite the contrary, mate. Contrary? What the fuck was that? Contrary. Is that even how you say that too? I don't know. Could we be getting badass Morgan back? It seems like Morgan is starting to go back to not what he was, because he was fucking crazy, but could we be getting Morgan that has a balance of, I want to save people, but at the same time, I'll kill a bitch if I need to? That's the Morgan I want. I want the Morgan that's gonna wield a sword and fucking kill shit like Michonne did. Remember that big-ass machete thing he had when he had at the start or whatever? I want to see that. I want to see him kill people. In reality, that's what it comes down to. I want Morgan to be a badass again, and hopefully he stays on the show for a while and just starts, you know, I gotta kill you, bitch! But, you know, it's gonna be a balance with him. I think it's gonna be a fight that he's gonna keep fighting, and he's gonna try to stay good, but he knows that he needs to be more like Carol, and, you know, I think they're gonna kind of have, like, a cool little balance, although it looks like King Zeke is gonna be the one to cure Carol from her, like, I need to kill myself kind of thing, because she keeps killing people, but that's the world she lives in, so I think Carol, you know, it's gonna be a good balance for them. A few other things, Jerry is the best. Freaking, I love that guy. I don't know why. He was just like, hey, what's up, buddy? And like, I don't know, he was just really weird, and I freaking love the character of Jerry. Hopefully he sticks around, because he was just, it's nice to have jolly people on a show sometimes. Also, when it came to the whole feeding the pigs thing, you can already tell that these crews, they're all connected by Negan, and you know eventually the team-up's gonna happen where all of these different communities are gonna get together to try to take out Negan's crew. And they even mentioned it when Morgan was talking to that kid, and he was all like, do you guys want to fight back Negan? And he was like, no, King Zeke doesn't think we'll be able to win without a lot of casualties. So they're already hinting that, like, all right, Alexandria, the Kingdom, more than likely Hilltop, they're all going to get together, and they're going to kill Negan's peeps. Now, I'm not too sure about you guys, but I was getting tired of the fake Carol thing. Like, that was getting annoying. Like, it was cool in Alexandria, but for some reason I felt like it was over the top in the Kingdom, and I was just like, Carol, stop. But it was so awesome to see King Ezekiel call her out on her shit. Like, it was so badass, and he used the words, don't bullshit a bullshitter, and that is when we got to see who King Ezekiel really is. Before the whole outbreak of walkers and shit, he was a zookeeper that also did freaking theater, and that is where the whole King Ezekiel persona came from, which that's such an awesome backstory. I was a fucking zookeeper. That is why this tiger will not eat me, because of course a tiger would eat anybody in this kind of situation, but not him, because he was the tiger's zookeeper. And he has this persona fuck of King Ezekiel, because he used to do freaking theater, and he's played kings and all this shit before, so he's able to pull it off really well, and he knows the dialect or the freaking words and shit to be able to pull off that kind of shit, which makes awesome sense. Like, that is logical, and it's just so awesome to see when characters are built off of something so simple that have grown into legend, like freaking King Zeke said people have made him a legend. You just show up with a tiger and people are like, oh fuck, that's a badass dude. I'm not gonna lie, my favorite part of this episode was when King Ezekiel said, fake it until you make it, because guys, those are words to live by. I am not even joking. Fake it until you make it is probably some of the best advice you could ever get. And it's not telling you to be a fake person. It's just telling you to try. If you want to do something and you don't know it, like, so you're not a pro at it, but you got a chance to do something, fucking take that chance and learn on the go, because that's probably the best way you're ever going to be able to do something. That's how I started doing YouTube. I was not somebody that was good in front of a camera, like, ever. I didn't ever want to be in front of the camera. I wanted to be behind the camera, wanted to be a director and a writer, never wanted to be in front of it, but since I started doing YouTube, I'm like, man, you know what, I wouldn't mind acting a little bit too, and it's just really weird, and I've been just, like, trying to, like, go with the flow this whole time, just like King Ezekiel was doing. He had a tiger, people wanted to follow him, they just started calling him King Ezekiel or whatever, bada bing, bada boom. Fake it until you make it. Some of the best damn advice you'll ever get in life. Now, the episode ended with what looked like Carol leaving the kingdom, but she did technically, but she kind of just lives in a house now that's like right outside the kingdom. And he said, why don't you go without going? That is what King Ezekiel told her. So Carol's going to be able to live on her own, but close enough to the kingdom that people can kind of still watch over her, but she's going to have her own space to live and do with what she wants. I think this is pretty cool. Hopefully this is going to bring Carol back to the norm, and she's going to be able to still help out people and be badass Carol. She's one of my favorite characters on the show. She has grown into just something really awesome, and I want to keep seeing that Carol on this show. So this might be the stepping stones to it, and maybe is she going to build a relationship with King Ezekiel? I don't know, but he brought his tiger over to her house and was like, what's up, you want some fruit, baby? It's possible. And now the last thing I want to talk about is something I was going to make a separate video for, but I didn't get around to it, and in case you guys didn't see it already, I want to talk about it in this video. So after last week's episode, we saw that Glenn was killed, Abraham was killed, we saw them both die, but originally, it seemed like The Walking Dead was going to kill Maggie. That is right, freaking Maggie was going to die originally, and there is video proof of this right here.
Anybody moves, anybody says anything, cut the boy's another eye out, feed it to his father. And then can breathe. You can blink. You can cry. Yeah, you're all gonna be doing that. Oh, look at that! Taking it like a champ!
That would have been freaking crazy if they would have killed Maggie. I even said that in last week's video, that I would have been totally shocked if they would have picked somebody like Maggie, because I had the whole summer to think about it, and I was like, it's going to be Glenn and Abraham. I know that's what they're going to do. But if they would have killed Maggie, I would have been like, oh my god! Which would have been followed by this.
In the arms of the angel, fly away from here.
It's so true, but I want to know what you guys think about this episode. What did you think of King Zeke? Do you think Morgan's going to be a badass again? What are your thoughts on Carol? Let me know all of that in the comment sections down below. Also, this is the last chance for you to submit your questions for the Ask Juice 15K video. If you guys have a question you want me to answer for the Q&A video, let me know that on Twitter or in the comment section down below with that hashtag, and you might just have your question answered in that video that will more than likely be out this weekend, because I'm gonna get all these questions in this last video, and bada bing bada boom, it'll be out! Anyways, guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with all your buddies. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, I am your host, Juicebox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. Have I had my daily dose of juice? See you guys next time. Beep!